Hello, and welcome to another reading from the D-Team. Tonight we've got myself, Grant, we've got Ken, Stephanie and Philippa reading. Campaigners hit out after danger crossroads revealed. Junction on Scott's shame list by Liz Gallagher. A road junction in East Dunbartonshire has been named one of Scotland's most dangerous. The junction where the A803 Kirkintilloch Road meets Balmildy Road north of Bishopbriggs saw a total of 4 people injured, including one who was seriously injured on November 17th last year. It was named in the top 7 Scottish junctions on the League of Shame. This league was based on government analysis of more than 100,000 road traffic collisions in Britain in 2017, in which people were either killed or injured. The local junction is near the site of the new Cala housing development at Jelly Hill, Meadowburn. Despite opposition from councillors and 569 local residents, the Scottish Government's Planning and Environmental Appeals Division, DPEA, has approved plans for 135 canal-side homes near Bishopbriggs Leisuredrome. One member of Save Canal Green Space Group, which was vociferous in campaigning against the Meadowburn development, posted on the group's Facebook group this week. The junction of Balmildy Road and Kirkintilloch is one of the most dangerous in Scotland. The new developments at Jelly Hill and Croft Head will make this situation far worse given the increased volume in traffic. She was backed up by fellow protesters. One posted in response, "We need lights there and double yellows to stop people parking on the corner. I have started to go on the top of Hilton to get onto Kirkintilloch Road as it is safer." In response, Thomas Glenn, Deputy Chief Executive of Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets, said, "The junction at Balmildy Road and Kirkintilloch Road in Bishopbriggs has been monitored due to the level of incidents in this location in 2017. The Council can advise that there have been no incidents in 2018. It is not possible to install signals at this junction due to physical characteristics and proximity to other signalised junctions. However, if drivers and pedestrians use the junction appropriately, there is not a requirement for traffic lights. There are bollards located on the footway on Balmildy Road to discourage parking. Should vehicles be parked at the junction, the police should be informed as this is dangerous parking." The junction of St Vincent Street and Douglas Street in Glasgow city centre topped the League of Shame in Scotland. 5 casualty-causing collisions there in 2017 happened on February 22nd, February 27th, April 7th, May 5th and September 15th. They involved a total of 10 vehicles and saw 6 people injured in total. The analysis as a whole revealed that Thursday was the most common day for accidents, with 173, while Sunday was the least common with 129. Some 713, roughly 2/3, took place in daylight. Across the whole of Britain, the junction with the worst safety record for accidents was in Southwark in London.
Hello, and this is Stephanie. Work to conserve wildlife is part of Campaign for Tomorrow's Engineers. Mark is on a mission to protect otters, and this article is by Liz Gallagher. Engineer Mark Anderson hopes his mission to help otters will help inspire young people to take up his profession. Mark from Milton of Campsie and his colleague Bob Gould have created an otter crossing on a stretch of dangerous road. Part of the A827 at Killin in Stirling is notorious for otter fatalities. Mark and Bob, who are employees of Robertson Civil Engineering, have worked as part of a wider team to create a protective road barrier to help the animals cross without being harmed by vehicles. Now the two are set to be stars of this year's Engineers on a Mission campaign. The campaign is part of the annual Tomorrow's Engineers Week that takes place from November the 5th to 9th and aims to change perceptions of engineering among young people. A spokesperson for the campaign said, "This year we are continuing to showcase how engineers are on a mission to make the world a better place. and hope to inspire the next generation of engineers. Pupils from 250 schools will be able to talk on a panel of engineers, which includes Mark and Bob, and ask questions via a live link on social media. And there's a picture of Mark and his colleague Bob on a stretch of road where a number of otters have sadly been killed. Now have the intimations. Deaths. Brooks, Anne, peacefully at home on October the 12th, 2018, after a long illness, courageously born. Anne, beloved wife of Michael, much-loved mum of Stephen, Gerald and Adrian, adored gran and mother-in-law. For funeral arrangements, please contact Co-op Funeral Care, Kirkintilloch, on telephone 0141 776 2273. Flowers will be welcomed. Lynch, James. Peacefully, on October the 18th, 2018, at Four Hills Nursing Home, a former employee of M&C Switchgear, a much-loved dad of Matt, Evelyn, Doreen, James and Glenda, and an adored grandfather and great-grandfather. Funeral service will take place on Monday, October 29th, 2018, at St Mary's Parish Church, Kirkintilloch, for 1 p.m. Thereafter, to Old Isle Cemetery for 2 p.m. The family would like to thank all staff at Four Hills Nursing Home for their care and support of James. Newell, Jeanette, Ginty, sadly passed away on Saturday, October the 13th, 2018. Beloved wife of the late Hugh, mum of Sharon, Gary, Debbie and Donna. Granny of Stacey, Ewan, Julie, Shan, Abby and Jude, and great-granny of Sophie, Anthony, Isabella, Olivia, Charlotte and George. Rest in peace, Muirhead legend. Roberts, Susan. Peacefully at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on Saturday, October the 13th, 2018, after a long period of illness, in the tender care of the exceptional nursing and care staff of Lilyburn Care Home, sadly missed by husband Duncan, sisters Jean, Rita and Valerie, and brother-in-law Jim. Funeral service took place at Daldowie Crematorium on Wednesday, October the 24th at 10 a.m. In memoriam. Black, William, Billy. Fond memories of William Semple Black, who died October the 24th, 2003. Remembered every day from all the family. Boyle, John, Jackie. Fondest memories of Jackie. Died October the 28th, 1998. No more tomorrows for us to share, but yesterday's memories will always be there. Inserted by his loving wife Helen and son Martin. Cochrane, Eileen, Ní Doby. In memory of Eileen Cochrane, who passed away October the 20th, 2017. Loving wife of Archie, mum to Ronald, Stuart and Drew. Gran to Lauren, Mark, Nicole and Emily. Sadly missed by all. Conville, Kit. Died October the 19th, 2010. Very sadly missed. Love from Michael, Mary and family. Grant, Marlene. In loving memory of Marlene, who passed away October the 23rd, 2011. Love and miss you always. Willie, Jackie and Barry. A Kirkintilloch man is on track for an award. Neil's epic charity feats. And this article is also by Liz Gallagher. A Kirkintilloch man who has been taking on a year of gruelling challenges for Parkinson's UK is on track for an award. Network Rail has nominated Neil Whiteman for a special award after he took on 17 of the toughest obstacle courses in the UK for the charity. So far, he has completed 16 events and raised an impressive £3,300. The Herald reported on Neil's epic feat in June. The charity is a cause close to his heart, as 2 years ago his dad Bert was diagnosed with Parkinson's. In all, Neil's efforts will see him cover 275 kilometres, 170 miles, of muddy terrain. As if that's not enough, he has been tackling them all wearing a kilt to make things a little bit more interesting. His challenge has caught the imagination of his colleagues, and he has now been nominated in the Rail Staff Awards. Anyone can vote, and Parkinson's UK is asking everyone to show their thanks for Neil's fantastic efforts by voting for him at www.railstaff.awards/event/awards/charitable person or team of the year/301 number nominees. Jan Mattison, regional fundraiser at Parkinson's UK, said, "Neil's been a star for us this year. Not only has he raised so much money, but his exploits have really helped raise awareness of the charity too. It's fantastic that he's been nominated for the award, and we'd love it if everyone voted for him." People can also support Neil's fundraising at www.justgiving.com/fundraising/Neil Whiteman. And there's a great picture of Neil down on all fours, scrabbling through the mud, and it looks like he's trying to get his head just underneath some barbed wire. Claim your free swim at Leisure Centre. People are being offered a free swim at Bishopbriggs Leisuredome provided they cycle to the Leisure Centre. It's part of a trial initiative being run by the Council and Eastern Bartonshire's Leisure and Culture Trust. If you cycle to the Leisuredome between now and Sunday, November the 4th, then you are eligible for a free dip in the pool. To claim your free swimming session, just cycle to the Leisuredome, take a selfie on your bike outside at the newly upgraded shelters, and then show it to EDLC colleagues inside. The trial is being funded by the Smarter Choices, Smarter Places programme, aimed at encouraging active travel.
High praise for Children's Support Unit. Education Scotland has given Eastern Bartonshire's primary wellbeing support service a glowing report following a visit by inspectors earlier this year. The service, based in Oxgang Primary School in Kirkintilloch, provides full and part-time places for children with emotional and social difficulties. During the visit, the inspectors talked to parents and carers and the children who attend, and worked closely with the head teacher and school employees. The inspection team found the following strengths: very positive relationships between children and staff, which is resulting in children making very good progress, particularly with their social and emotional development, and highly effective individual support, which is helping a significant number of children to return to full-time mainstream education. The Family Learning Programme, which supports parents and carers to engage with their children's learning, is resulting in improved well-being outcomes for children and their families. The report also identified areas for improvement. Staff should continue to identify ways to involve children, parents and partners more fully in self-evaluation activities, and continue to develop approaches to assess children's progress in literacy. Park and Ride Service for Relief Road by Neil McGrory. Councillors have agreed to carry out public consultations across Eastern Bartonshire to ensure the best possible transport strategies going forward. Eastern Bartonshire Council is currently revising its local transport strategy and will carry out an 8-week consultation exercise. This will include an online survey and drop-in events. Possible options identified for the Bishopbriggs area include a feasibility study on footpath improvements with the aim of making travel easier and providing a traffic-free route from Westerhill Business Park to the town centre. The council is also to look actively at promoting the new Westerway walking and cycling route through events, signage and social media. Linked to Westerhill Business Park, Westerway is considered a high-quality traffic-free route. Council officers feel that the use of social media and events will prove far more effective in promoting use of the route than simply erecting signage. The possibility of building a bus park and ride next to the Bishopbriggs Relief Road is also under consideration. Council officers intend to consult bus operators regarding the feasibility of this. An alternative location for the park and ride has been identified elsewhere in the area, but is deemed less suitable due to cost-benefit analysis and the possible impact of a similar facility proposed at North Lanarkshire Council at Horns Hill. There are also plans to enhance bus routes with such measures as real-time passenger information, upgraded stops and shelters, bus priority areas or congestion bypasses. The busy Auchan-Nairn route was given particular emphasis in the report. An integrated transport hub in Bishopbriggs designed to make it easy to switch between walking, cycling and public transport could be created in the town centre. The report also states that Eastern Bartonshire Council is still keen to see rail station built at Wester Hill as per its local plan 2, published in 2015. Although the Scottish Government, having confirmed it, has no plans to invest in this, Council officers intend to continue their feasibility studies. The report also recommends continuing to Phase 5 of the Bishopbriggs Relief Road project, over leaving Phase 4 as the final stage, as this would hinder access to the road from Bishopbriggs and villages in the north of Eastern Bartonshire, ultimately failing to reap the benefits of the full road link. And there's a picture in the street of Eastern Bartonshire Council officers and others seeking views on traffic-free routes like Wester Way above. New study recommends that councils should be combined. A new study has recommended that East and Western Bartonshire be combined into a single local authority. The study by the University of Sheffield proposes Scottish local government be reformed to reduce the total number of separate councils. The paper, published earlier in October, contains proposals to replace Scotland's 32 councils with 19 new bodies. However, Eastern Bartonshire Council is not aware of any serious effort to put these plans into effect. Deputy Chief Executive Anne Davey said, "We are aware of a report which has been published by academics from the University of Sheffield. We will continue to liaise with COSLA and the Scottish Government as appropriate. Plans were first put forward in 2013. Latest study is entitled Regions from the Ground Up, a Network Partitioning Approach to Regional Delineation, and is available at journals.sagepub.com. And another small article. A reward offered after teenager's £550 birthday bike is stolen. Heartless thieves snatched a Bishopbriggs youngster's £550 dream mountain bike while it was padlocked outside the local library on Wednesday, October the 17th. The robbers struck between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. outside the library hub at Kirkintilloch Road. The heartbroken 14-year-old had received the Voodoo Hoodoo bike from his family for his birthday a few weeks ago. Now his family are offering a £50 reward for information which leads to its recovery. His mum told the Herald, "My son's very upset about this. People can also contact police on 101 or Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111.
Picture of the week. So this week's picture of the week is a lovely, stunning view of the River Tay at Dunkeld. There are two small, bright brown wooden boats sitting on the river up against a pebbly shoreline, and they've got wee rotors fitted to the back and one seat for the fishermen and 3 rods set up per each boat. There's also what looks like a zip line in the background and some stunning bright green scenery of all the different colours of trees, some clouds moving across over the mountains in the background. Big question. Does fracking cause environmental damage? This was a question posed on the Facebook page of the Kirkintilloch Herald this week, and 82% of people agreed that fracking does cause environmental damage, and 19% said no. This week is pH Awareness Week, October 22nd to the 28th. PHA UK. pH Awareness Week aims to put pulmonary hypertension under the spotlight and get people talking about this rare and serious condition, and you can find out more at phauk.org. And finally, weekend weather. Thursday will be a cloudy day with some showers. These will clear, leaving a brighter day on Saturday with sunny spells. The good weather will continue into Saturday, with Sunday being the best day of the weekend, although it will be cold. Now we have a special article that we have received from the British Wireless for the Blind Fund. Visually impaired people are being invited to see if they are eligible for a free specially adapted radio from a charity. British Wireless for the Blind Fund, that's BWBF, provides the equipment to those with sight loss across the UK who meet its criteria. Radio is a lifeline to those who are blind and partially sighted, providing companionship and helping them to keep in touch with what is going on in the world, as well as the local community. BWBF offers equipment free of charge to those who have sight loss and are in receipt of a means-tested benefit. BWBF is launching its Reaching Out campaign to try and increase awareness about their equipment and help more people who are blind or partially sighted. Regional Development Manager Sophie Weldon said, "Our radios are designed so that a person with sight loss can use them easily and independently. All equipment is delivered to the home by a volunteer who sets it all up and provides support in using it. We offer a range of equipment: digital radios, CD players, memory stick players, internet radio, and even specially designed app. Our radios are vital to someone who cannot see. They provide news, information and entertainment, but also, more importantly, companionship and a friendly voice. If you or someone you know is interested in a BWBF radio, please contact Sophie Weldon at sophie@blind.org.uk, that's Sophie spelt SOPHIE, or phone 01283 790 208 or 07540 724 063. To find out more about the BWBF, you can follow them on Twitter at British Wireless, or like their Facebook page, or go to blind.org.uk. Bishopbriggs woman gives back to charity which has helped her. Alison's looking swish again for cancer care, by Liz Gallagher. Bishopbriggs woman Alison Ross has lived with secondary breast cancer for the past 6 years. The brave local lady has now organised a fundraising event for the 2nd year to give back to a charity which has helped her and her family cope with the devastating diagnosis. The Swish event, in aid of breast cancer care, takes place on Saturday, October 27th at the Fort Theatre in Bishopbriggs from 2 till 4 p.m. Alison says the event is back by popular demand. She said, "All you do is bring along 5 quality or nearly new items of clothing, Put them on the Swiss rail and you will be issued with 5 tickets. Each ticket then entitles you to choose an item of your choosing from the Swiss rail. As well as the clothes swapping, we also have some really good raffle and tombola prizes. We are also having a silent auction this year and have a wedding dress to auction as well as a mother of the bride outfit. It is all good fun, and we thought the silent auction would generate a bit more money for the cause. The Herald spoke to Alison when she launched the first event last year. She said, "I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 47. Nothing can prepare you for the shock and the range of emotions that you experience, and some days I honestly still can't believe that this has happened to me. Secondary breast cancer can't be cured. I was told the cancer had spread to my rib cage, my back and my hips, and that I would now be referred to oncology at the Beatson. I realised I was fighting for my life. I remember feeling like I had been given a death sentence, being totally ignorant about my diagnosis, not really understanding it and being angry. This was the first time in my life that I was not in control. I couldn't fix this. However, I am keeping well. My cancer is treatable but not curable, and I have responded very well to the monthly treatments I have been receiving at the Beatson. I am still scared, no doubt about it, but there is support out there for people like me through the services of breast cancer care, for which I am so grateful. They offer tailored support services for people living with breast cancer, and that is one of the main reasons I wanted to organise this event, to not only raise awareness, but also to say thank you to all the friends and family who have been an incredible support over the past years." And there is a picture with this article of Alison with a couple of her friends and supporters holding up a sign for breast cancer care, all wearing pink with big smiles on their faces. Education. Good report card for Lenzie School. The latest government inspection of Lenzie Meadow Primary School and Nursery produced a positive report. At a recent meeting of Eastern Bartonshire Council's Education Committee, councillors welcomed the report, which praises the school in a number of areas. The report assessed the school's performance in 4 key areas, with the primary school earning good ratings in 2 of these and satisfactory in 2 others. The nursery achieved 3 good and 1 very good. Particular strengths highlighted by the inspectors were that they had successfully achieved a common identity for the primary and the nursery following their move to a new school. The children were said to show great pride in their school. Good teamwork between staff was also highlighted as providing a positive, purposeful learning environment. Similarly, the school ethos was praised as having a climate of mutual respect, and it was also mentioned the nursery provided good support for children who needed extra help. Areas where the inspectors want to see improvement include better use of assessment to track the children's progress, raising attainment through strong leadership, and developing learning pathways across the curriculum. Meanwhile, a private nursery in Bishopbriggs has received a favourable report from inspectors. Happy Days Nursery, which is in partnership with Eastern Bartonshire Council and located within the Leisuredome, was rated good in all 4 performance criteria. Particular strengths identified include happy and confident children, a well-respected management team, positive relationships between staff, parents and children, and a welcoming and friendly environment.
Health. MP in appeal for stem cell donors. Local MP Jo Swinson today praised Eastern Bartonshire's 1,309 stem cell donors and called on others to register. Her call comes after figures released by Anthony Nolan, the UK's stem cell transplant charity, which put the region in the top 25% in the country for donors. Ms Swinson also highlighted the urgent need for more donors from Black, Asian and minority ethnic backgrounds, as well as young men between 16 to 30. Every year in the UK, around 2,000 blood cancer patients need a stem cell donor to save their life, but often a donor is not available or cannot be found quickly enough. People from Black, Asian or ethnic minority backgrounds only have a 21% chance of finding a perfect match, compared to 69% for their white Northern European counterparts. Young male donors are much more likely to be selected by transplant centres, and Anthony Nolan's research has shown that the younger the donor, the better the patient's chance of survival. Miss Swinson said, "It is fantastic that so many people in East Dunbartonshire have already joined the stem cell donor register. Their actions could one day save the life of someone with blood cancer who needs an urgent transplant. Sadly, there are often cases where a donor is not available or cannot be found quickly enough. That's why I'm encouraging people in East Dunbartonshire, especially young men and those from ethnic minority backgrounds, to join the stem cell donor register today. To join the stem cell donor register, visit www.anthonynolan.org/join. Local authority. New study recommends that councils should be combined. A new study has recommended that East and West Dunbartonshire be combined into a single local authority. The study by the University of Sheffield proposes Scottish local government be reformed to reduce the total number of separate councils. The paper, published earlier in October, contains proposals to replace Scotland's 32 councils with 19 new bodies. However, East Dunbartonshire Council is not aware of any serious effort to put these plans into effect. Deputy Chief Executive Anne Davies said, "We are aware of a report which has been published by academics from the University of Sheffield. We will continue to liaise with COSLA and the Scottish Government as appropriate. Plans were first put forward in 2013. Latest study is entitled Regions from the Ground Up, a network partitioning approach to regional delineation, and is available at journals.sagepub.com. Crime. Reward offered after teenager's £550 birthday bike is stolen. Heartless thieves snatched a Bishop Briggs youngster's £550 dream mountain bike while it was padlocked outside the local library on Wednesday, October the 17th. The robbers struck between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. outside the library hub at Kirkintilloch Road. The heartbroken 14-year-old had received the Voodoo Hoodoo bike from his family for his birthday a few weeks ago. Now his family are offering a £50 reward for information which leads to a recovery. His mum told the Herald, "My son's very upset about this. People can also contact police on 101 or Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. The frame number on the bike is AA 802 21759. Please email elipcar@gmail.com if you have any information." We now have some facts regarding the Yemen crisis. 13 million people in Yemen are facing starvation. 5.2 million children at risk of famine. 1 in 3 children under 5 is acutely malnourished. 40% of the population is under 15. More than 80% of people rely on aid agencies and the UN for essentials such as food and health care. Suspected cholera cases have almost tripled in the Hodeidah region since June, and at least 10,000 people have been killed in the country's civil war. Now we've got a list of World Heritage Site hotspots. There are 1,092 UNESCO World Heritage Sites around the world. These are the countries which are 1 Italy, 54, 2 China with 53, 3 Spain with 47, 4 Germany with 44, 5 France with 44, 6 India with 37, 7 Mexico with 35, the United Kingdom with 31, Russia with 28, and the United States with 23. 5 most popular travel guide websites. Number 1, visitscotland.com, official site with listings of accommodation, what to see and do, outdoor activities, transport, conventions, and background for the visitor. Number 2, scotlandinfo.eu provides practical tourist information and includes many images, history and activities, as well as a Scotland blog. Number 3, welcometoscotland.com, multilingual site containing visitor information, attractions, activities, accommodation and events, interactive maps and search facilities. Number 4, mustseescotland.com, Scottish tour planning advice, travel tips and information on heritage, culture and environment. And number 5, stravagening.com, an online guide to Scotland, where to eat and stay, what to see, plus photographs and wallpaper.
Boundary plans now finalised by Liz Gallagher. Final recommendations for new parliamentary boundaries have been released, which propose moving parts of Eastern Bartonshire out of the UK constituency. However, the Boundary Commission review still needs the backing of MPs and peers at the UK Parliament. The plans propose cutting the number of Scottish MPs at Westminster from 59 to 53. The renamed Dumbartonshire West would expand from Dumbarton and Clydebank to include part of Bearsden. Eastern Bartonshire MP Jo Swinson is against the proposals. She said this week, "The final proposals for Eastern Bartonshire will come as a disappointment to many in Bearsden, where more than 5,700 residents in Baljaffrey, Castle Hill and Thorn are still set to be lumped in with Western Bartonshire for parliamentary representation. I campaign to keep Bearsden together and to minimise the impact of boundary changes on local people. More than 170 people wrote in to oppose the Boundary Commission's original proposals, which showed the strength of local feeling. These plans place arbitrary divisions in Eastern Bartonshire communities, and accordingly I will oppose them when they are put to Parliament in a vote." Western Bartonshire MP Martin Doherty-Hughes said, "There's no appetite at present for these boundary changes in Western Bartonshire or in other affected constituencies across Scotland. It was made very clear when these plans were first introduced that extending the Western Bartonshire seat is daft." Path upgrades. A new project is a walk-in park. School pupils, walkers and cyclists will benefit from a new active travel project in Bishopbriggs. Works are taking place at Meadowburn Park over the coming weeks to improve the path network. The project includes the resurfacing and widening of existing paths and a new link connecting east and west along the northern edge of the open space. It is hoped the improvement works will help local residents and school pupils attending Meadowburn Primary to move around the area more easily, either on foot or by bike or scooter. The project, funded by Sustrans and Strathclyde Partnership for Transport, SPT, will connect both play parks within Meadowburn, as well as providing a missing link through the park. The paths will connect to the recently constructed ramp and steps between Meadowburn and Teviot Avenue, and will provide a safe, off-road, quiet link through the area to the Leisure Drome and to the Forth and Clyde Canal. Councillor Billy Hendry said, "This ties in with the Council's ongoing efforts to encourage people to get out and about, with benefits for health, well-being and the environment. Construction works will take approximately 3 weeks, with landscaping beginning in the spring." Fairshare is serving up millions of meals. This is a feature by Julie Curry. It helps 438 charities across Scotland to provide more than 3.5 million meals each year for vulnerable people in our communities. The tons of food destined for landfill sites has been turned into millions of nutritious meals for people in need, and it's all thanks to FareShare, which launched here in Scotland in 1999, when the first collection centre opened in Edinburgh. The charity now has a further 3 depots in Glasgow, Dundee and Aberdeen. Together they work to distribute boxes of food to some 438 charities in Scotland, which serve food to vulnerable people. In 2017 to 18 alone, surplus food donated by Tesco, Asda, the Co-op, McSween, Farm Salmon and vegetable producer Kettle Produce was used to create more than 3.5 million meals. FareShare's employees work hand in hand with more than 400 volunteers at the 4 sites to prepare food boxes. These are then distributed to 438 charities and hundreds of community organisations which serve meals to clients. A simple concept. It not only helps thousands of people each week across Scotland, but also saves the planet too. Landfill sites are no longer used as dumping grounds for food, which is perfectly usable. Rachel Carr, the Network Development Manager for Scotland and Northern Ireland, explained the charity's work. She said, "The food we receive from our suppliers can be surplus for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's because it is pretty short-dated, so they send it to us to distribute to charities who can use it quickly. Other times it's due to an overproduction. Firms have to produce a certain amount for an order, but they have to make more than they are asked for due to their production lines. And other times it's because produce is either overweight or underweight, or the packaging is broken, which means the supermarkets cannot sell it to their customers. The food that we receive is all perfectly good to eat, but for one reason or another cannot be sold in the usual outlets. Rather than sending it to landfill, our suppliers donate the food to us to help people across the country. People are very often surprised when they visit one of our collection depots to discover the quality and range of food we receive. We get produce that you would find in any supermarket in the country. Workers at each of FareShare's sites have to sort and pack all the produce, then distribute it to the charities it serves. Rachel said, "Each of our regional centres has a small army of volunteers who sort the food and chill it ready for distribution by our volunteer van drivers. Each centre has a group of charities it works with regularly, such as elderly care homes, homeless shelters, or school breakfast clubs." In Scotland last year, we redistributed enough food to make more than 3.5 million meals, and across the UK, it was 36.7 million meals. That's a lot of perfectly good food, which has been used to help vulnerable people via charities and community groups. Without FareShare, that food would have gone straight to landfill. It would simply have gone to waste had we not intercepted it. During the summer holidays, some of the food supplies were also used to help children who may otherwise have gone hungry. We run a holiday hunger programme, which ensures children who usually enjoy a free school meal can still do so during the holidays. It provides the food to organisations which work directly with youngsters. First founded by Crisis, FareShare is now a charity in its own right. It relies on generous donations from the public and its many suppliers to support its work. And the charities it serves also benefit greatly. It is estimated we save every charity we help £7,900 per year in food bills. We help 438 charities in Scotland each year saving them $3.5 million annually. Many of these charities are also funded by public donations, so fair share support is valuable. It's invaluable. While Fair Share does employ key workers to oversee collection depots, the majority of the work the charity does is only possible thanks to volunteers. Rachel said that we have a core team of paid staff who work in each regional centre, but the volunteers are our true food heroes, and we could not do what we do without them. They truly are the lifeblood of our work. Fair Share now operates almost countrywide and has even created partnerships on the islands to help vulnerable people there. She added, "We have set up Fair Share Go for remote communities and the islands, linking up charities with their local Tesco or Waitrose supermarkets. This enables charities there to collect surplus goods themselves directly from their local supermarkets. To find out more about Fair Share's work or to volunteer your time, visit the charity's website at www.fairshare.org.uk. And next article is how you can help deliver a fair share. And there's a picture with a Fair Share van and 4 members hard at work at the 4 depots in Scotland, sorting surplus food donations for use by hundreds of charities. And the article with it is how you can help deliver a fairer share. With winter just around the corner, Fair Share is trying to stock up on non-perishable goods. And to do just that, the charity will be collecting at every Tesco store across Scotland from November the 29th to December the 1st. As well as food donations, the charity is also hoping generous Scots will contribute funds to the cause. Rachel said, "Just £1 is enough to enable Fair Share to provide 4 meals to people in need." While there are an estimated 400 volunteers each year across its 4 sites in Aberdeen, Dundee, Glasgow and Edinburgh, additional helpers are also required. "Volunteers are vital to our operation," said Rachel. "There's a great range of roles available, including warehouse assistants and team leaders, as well as van drivers, all offering a rewarding and fulfilling experience. It doesn't take much time, and by volunteering just a few hours, a volunteer can make a massive difference. Our volunteers are our food heroes, the ones sorting the food, putting orders together, and delivering to the many incredible frontline charities which are vital to our operation." And to find out more, visit the charity website at www.fairshare.org.uk. And there's a picture of 2 happy-looking helpers carrying fresh vegetables, which account for around 1/3 of surplus food donations. And I have a small article here headed, "Hey Girls, sanitary products are also being distributed by charity." Fair Share Central and South East Scotland, which is based in Edinburgh, was the first to be opened here in 1999. Fair Share Tayside and Fife, based in Dundee, opened in 2004, followed by Fair Share Grampian in Aberdeen in 2007 and Fair Share Glasgow in 2008. In 2017 to 18, the charity helped provide more than 3.5 million meals for people in need via 438 charities, 438 charities across Scotland. Each week, Fair Share helps 44,099 people across Scotland. But the charity also operates UK-wide, reaching 1,500 towns and cities via its 21 regional centres and saving tens of thousands of tonnes of surplus food being sent to landside sites. As it works with more than 1,000 community organisations and charities across Scotland, FareShare is also now working with the Scottish Government to use its network to make sanitary products available to women across Scotland. Following a successful pilot in Aberdeen, FareShare has received more than £500,000 to distribute sanitary products in partnership with capital C, Fine, Move On, Transport and Cyrenians. The aim is to reach an estimated 18,800 women who struggle to find the money to buy sanitary products every month. FareShare uses Hey Girls and other suppliers to provide a variety of sanitary products.
Hello everyone, this is Ken reading The Big Picture. And this week's picture shows Helen Woods with her uncle's Second World War medals. And her uncle was William French. The medals went missing for several decades and they were found in a safe at the Glasgow firm where he worked. And the picture certainly shows the pleasure that Helen has in getting her uncle's medal back. She's holding it up and it's really quite a lovely picture altogether. Success of school breakfast clubs. And this story is by Neil McGrory. The success of East Dunbartonshire School Breakfast Club programme was discussed by the Council's Education Committee during its most recent meeting. Councillors reviewed a report on the service's performance at the Council's Kirkintilloch headquarters last week. 6 primary schools in the authority area run breakfast clubs between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. each day, and the current annual budget for this is £100,000. The first schools to run the scheme were Hillhead Primary in Kirkintilloch and the Thomas Muir Primary School in Bishopbriggs, which opened their breakfast clubs last year. In 2018, more primary schools joined: Holy Trinity in Kirkintilloch and St Machans in Lennoxtown. All of these services are operated by the council except for Thomas Muir, where the club is privately run by Bishopbriggs Out of School Care, which previously ran a service in Woodhill Primary before it merged with Auchinairn Primary to create the new school. The council also operated a snack and play service in 3 schools over a 5-week period during the summer holidays. Customer satisfaction surveys found this was greatly appreciated by parents with huge positive feedback. One parent said, "Club was a lifesaver over the summer. Can't praise it enough. Wish it was on for longer." Another responded, "Fantastic. Opportunity for children. Well done, EDC." The council intends to continue these services in 2018 going into 2019 and has allocated a total of £200,000 for the breakfast club and summer snack club. And there's a picture along with the story, and it's indicating 3 children obviously enjoying the food, and they've each got a lovely yellow beaker for their drinks. Magnitude of horrific puppy smuggling trade revealed. And this story is by Dawn Renton. Dogs Trust is calling on the government to take urgent action to stop the illegal importation of puppies into the UK as Brexit approaches. This follows an undercover investigation which exposes the magnitude and ease of trade routes into the UK for European smugglers. The Welfare Charity's 4th report into this illegal trade is released with less than 6 months until the UK's exit from the EU, in order to highlight the significant opportunity the government has to redraw the UK's pets travel rules, and that's currently regulated by the EU legislation, and end this cruel trade. Dogs Trust has uncovered a network of corrupt breeders, dealers and vets who openly admit to breaking the law to deceitfully export puppies. The report also reveals the horrific ways in which puppies are smuggled into the UK, and the findings include Puppies sedated in cramped conditions and forced into 30-hour journeys over 1,000 miles with little water and no toilet breaks, found hidden amongst their own faeces. Heavily pregnant bitches caged in sickening conditions and forced to travel gruelling journeys to allow for the puppies to be born in the UK. Young UK-born puppies amount to quicker sales. Sandra Lawton, Rehoming Centre Manager for Dogs Trust in Scotland, said, "Our investigations have revealed shocking welfare conditions. There is no regard for the lives of these vulnerable puppies, who are subjected to gruelling journeys of more than 30 hours in hot, cramped and filthy conditions with no toilet breaks and very little water. Some don't survive the journey, and those who do may have physical health and behavioural issues due to their poor start in life. With Brexit around the corner, this is an opportunity of a lifetime to put robust measures in place that protect dogs and the public. We urge the Government to take forward our clear recommendations to overhaul our pet travel legislation and increase the penalties for those caught fueling this despicable trade. Dogs Trust is asking members of the public to contact their MPs via the Dogs Trust website to put an end to this cruel puppy smuggling trade. And to find out more and contact your MP, visit www.puppiesmuggling.org.uk. That's www.puppiesmuggling.org.uk. Students urged to learn about meningitis. University students are being urged to learn the signs and symptoms of meningitis to help keep themselves and their friends safe. Charity Meningitis is using its Student Awareness Week, that's October the 22nd to the 26th, to drive home the message on campuses around the country that getting vaccinated and knowing the signs and symptoms to look out for will save lives. Dr. Tom Nutt, Chief Executive, said, "It could be nothing, it could be meningitis. The symptoms can be easily confused with flu, a stomach bug or a hangover. If you or one of your friends is ill and getting worse, call NHS 111 or your GP straight away. In an emergency, dial 999 or go to your nearest A&E. Visit www.meningitisnow.org for more details. And meningitis has got a capital M and now has got a capital N.
Heart of the matter. And this comes from Dr. Frank Dunn. TB remains a serious threat even today. I have been friendly with a retired professor of Italian for a number of years. Her name did not indicate strong Italian links, and I wondered how she became such an expert in this language. She shared her journey with me recently. As a child, she was enchanted by the voice of the wonderful tenor Gigli, who was one of her dad's favourite singers. However, she had no understanding of what he was singing. Then, at the age of 14, she was stricken with tuberculosis meningitis, considered then to have a hopeless outcome. The news of her outlook was communicated to her devastated family. To the amazement of the consultant, my friend began to slowly improve. She decided to use the 2 years to learn Italian so that she could understand the meaning of Gigli's songs. She managed this very successfully. On return to school, she continued with her study of Italian and sailed through her higher exams. She then went to university and, after achieving a first-class honours degree in Italian, completed a doctorate and was invited to join the staff in the Italian department. On her first day, she visited the staff coffee room, and at the next table was the doctor, by that time a professor, who had cared for her and had feared the worst. She approached him, and he remembered her immediately. He greeted her warmly and told her that her recovery made his occupation worthwhile. The next day she received a lovely letter from him. She moved through the ranks at university, eventually becoming Professor of Italian and Head of Department. Tuberculosis was a major challenge in the UK for much of the 20th century and required hospitals which had large numbers of wards for patients with this condition. Stobhill and Rob Royston in the 1940s had many TB wards. For example, Rob Royston had 2 wards dedicated solely to TB of the urinary tract. Before the introduction of effective drugs, a major part of treatment was to send sufferers to areas where the air was fresh. Switzerland was a popular place for sanatoria. Many of the ward balconies in Stobhill were for patients to spend many hours of the day and night in the fresh air. They must have been frozen. Recently, I came across equipment in the Royal College which was used in the 1920s to collapse the lung as a treatment for TB. Desperate situations required desperate measures. The arrival of streptomycin in the 1940s was a game changer. The first early success was Robert Dole, who was to become a future presidential nominee in the USA. There followed clinical trials, and a key one was in the UK. This showed benefit, but at the expense of kidney malfunction and deafness. Many patients developed deafness until more was understood of the need to adjust the dose of the drug depending on a number of factors. The other important innovation related to prevention involving the use of BCG vaccination and, in days gone by, chest x-rays. In addition, isolation of those with active TB remains. Spread comes from coughing, sneezing or spitting. Hence the sign on buses in days gone by, spitting prohibited, penalty £5. TB is a worldwide concern, and the emergence of HIV infections has resulted in a recurrence of this disorder. It remains a common disease in many parts of the world. In a puzzling case, whether it is in the UK or anywhere else, the diagnosis of TB must be considered. It is neither gone and should never be forgotten. You can help. Meningitis now launches new fundraiser. Pause for a cause. WAG for meningitis. Dogs and their owners are taking the lead to help fight meningitis in Scotland. The UK's top meningitis charity, Meningitis Now, has launched its new pooch-friendly fundraiser, WAG for Meningitis, and you'd be barking to miss it. 4-legged friends can walk and give for the charity anytime, anywhere. All they need is you. From getting sponsored for a walk every day for 30 days to getting involved in doggy challenges and canine capers, WAG for Meningitis is a brilliant way to include your pup in the fight against the deadly disease. Meningitis Now community fundraiser Leah Wynne explained that participants just needed to decide how to get involved, help their dog set up their Just Giving page and guarantee raising a minimum of £30. Every dog that completes the challenge will be awarded their very own certificate of participation. Leah said, walking your pup is already part of most dog owners' day, so this is an excellent way to raise money for a great cause at the same time. If you can commit to doing 30 walks, there are plenty of other ways you can join in, from baking doggy treats and setting up your own barkery, to following a puppy party for your dog's canine pals. Just remember that every penny raised will be put towards fighting meningitis and supporting all of those who have been impacted by this terrible disease. To make sure your 4-legged friend looks the part, you can also kit them out with a Meningitis Now branded bandana in the charity's trademark bright orange. WAG was partly inspired by 5-year-old lurcher Macy, who became the campaign's mascot after herself fighting off meningitis. Rescue dog Macy will be following the progress of the WAG walkers from her newly found forever home in Shropshire. Meningitis Now is working towards a future where no one in the UK loses their life to meningitis and everyone affected gets the support they need. It does this by funding research into vaccines and prevention, raising awareness so people know what to look for and what action to take if they suspect meningitis, and rebuilding futures by providing dedicated support to people living with the impact of the disease. For further information and to donate, visit www.meningitisnow.org. Charity dates for your diary. Wear your whiskers. Friday, October the 26th, will be a day like no other as the nation gets fabulous. Gather a group, paint or stick on some whiskers for the day and donate £2 to take part, or £1 if at school. Whether you do it with friends, colleagues, classmates or family, you can wear your whiskers anywhere. However you choose to wear your whiskers, you'll be helping dogs and cats who have nowhere else to turn. Whether you raise £10 or £1,000, every penny will help provide them with the vital medical care, attention and love they need. Through your generosity, dogs and cats can embark on new lives and find loving new homes. For further information and to download your fundraising pack, visit www.battersea.org.uk. And there's a lovely picture of Macy, the WAG campaign's mascot, with fundraisers Leah Wynne and Sophia Lanciano. It's that time of year. Get ready for the big rush. I don't know about you, but for me things always seem to go a bit crazy at this time of the year. Everything seems to quicken up. Diaries become full, and there never seems to be enough time in the day to tick everything off the to-do list. I think when the clocks go back at the end of the month, everything seems to speed up. We've got parties galore for Halloween. Then there's Guy Fawkes Night, when you hear fireworks going off for about 2 weeks instead of just one night. Next will be a special Remembrance Sunday, when we mark 100 years since World War I ended. And that then will signal the start of panic buying for Christmas. And just in case you've forgotten, that's just 8 weeks away, and already we have Christmas films on the TV. Then, of course, you have a string of parties to get ready for, and once Christmas is over, roll up the sleeves and get ready for the Hogmanay celebrations. But also keep a close watch on some of the shops and supermarkets in the coming weeks. Yes, you've guessed it, those dreaded chocolate Easter eggs will soon be making an appearance. Ho, ho, ho. And the thought for this week, from Seneca: the mind that is anxious about future events is miserable.
Your letters. Poolside showers ignored. Sir, Kirkintilloch Leisure Centre. We are very fortunate to have such a facility in the town. It's well used and offers a great range of recreational and fitness services, adding to the better health and well-being of its users. However, the behaviour of some pool customers detracts somewhat from this happy state of affairs. There seems to be a growing number of swimmers who quite deliberately use the pool without showering beforehand. Showering before entering the pool is vital to reduce the number and amount of pathogens carried on the body into the pool itself. The list of such pathogens is both extensive and stomach-churning, so I will not disturb sensibilities by naming them. Suffice to say that it is not pleasant to swim in a bacterial soup. Pool chemicals cannot guarantee 100% effective disinfection. I have seen parents ushering their children past the showers and entering the pool oblivious to the fact that they and their children could well end up with an infection or other illness. I have also yet to see a school party use the showers. The pool staff seem not to notice this, or if they do not care. Indeed, last week, October 17th, I watched as a dozen pool lifeguards trooped onto the poolside for a training session. Not one had showered beforehand. The leisure centre really must address this issue before we become known as the Kirky soap dodgers. I have made my observations on this matter to the leisure centre, but to no avail apparently. This was from Don Ferguson, Kirkintilloch. Tatty picking holiday created. Sir, as the October holiday draws to a close, it is interesting to remember how this came about. My earliest recollections go back to the days of the World War II. In those days, the district we now call Bishopbriggs consisted of 5 villages and at least 29 farms. The only way the farmers could harvest the potato crop was to recruit school children. This they did, despite the fact that school was still in session. The children who volunteered obtained a note from parents, farmers, or both. They took the note to school, where leave of absence was granted somewhat reluctantly. It was quite a number of years before the holiday finally came into being. By that time, very few of the farms existed. This is from W. Findlay, Bishopsgate, Kenmure Drive, Bishopbriggs. Vegan diet is wishful thinking. Sir, I write in reply to the letter by Todd Bradbury from Vegan Outreach, Vegan Outreach Animal Aid, in the issue dated October 17, concerning vegan diets and why he believes we should all be taking up such a diet. While there are no doubt benefits to both people themselves and the environment generally of going vegan, there are, as far as I know, potential disadvantages of such a diet. Since reading Mr. Bradbury's letter, I have done a bit of reading about vegan diets, and for sure there are benefits such as higher levels of vitamin C and fibre, lower saturated fat compared to one containing meat, and fewer calories overall. However, there are potential downsides of veganism too, such as missing out on some micronutrients, lower levels of calcium, vitamin D, iron, vitamin B12, zinc, and others. Therefore, anyone who decides to adopt such a diet would need to ensure that they receive these nutrients through specific vegan food sources, and they may also need to take additional supplements. In short, going vegan is not a decision that should be taken lightly by anyone. While it's all very well to argue the environment case for doing so and to state that going vegan has never been easier, as with everything else, a vegan diet will work well for some people, but probably not for others. And what about those who have long-term health conditions? I have a lifelong condition which can and does affect my iron levels, so the last thing I'm going to do is to engage in a diet which may compromise my iron levels even more. In an ideal world, we'd all be able to go vegan and live happily ever after on such a diet, while ensuring the welfare of both the environment and animals. However, this isn't an ideal world, and no amount of wishful thinking by anyone will change that. This was from David M. Porter, Lindsay. No merit in animal aid. Sir, I almost choked on my tasty sirloin steak reading the nonsense that came from the vegan nut eater, Todd Bradbury, who claims he is the vegan outreach campaign manager at Animal Aid. Must be a lonely job. I had to laugh, as he is an animal aid person. OK, Todd, if we don't eat the tasty animals, what exactly do we do with them? Keep a cow as a pet? Kill them? What about all the farms and farmers and their workers? Make them jobless? I assume that lions and tigers, etc., also produce gas emissions. What do we do with them? Kill them? I'm basically a climate change denier. I don't believe that we can change the planet. I believe the planet is doing what it does due to astronomical conditions. I also don't believe the scaremongers on the climate change committees. They said something like, we have 8 years to save the world. Don't be so ridiculous. This year we had warm weather. Next year we might not. I would also point out that at some time in the past we had an ice age. At one point, Britain was physically attached to Europe. It split due to conditions in the climate. The ice age ended, the Earth survived. In the 50s, I think it was that we had a killer smog in London, but at that time we had few cars on the road, less planes flying. So what caused the smog? The Earth survived. I'd also argue that there are climate scientists out there who don't believe in climate change, and I include Jeremy Corbyn's brother in that. It's all nonsense. Back to my sirloin. That's from Stuart Mann in Kirkintilloch.
3 more letters. Health. Diabetes help is available. Sir, there is no doubt that many of your readers will have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Unfortunately, we have found that many people with diabetes feel they do not have enough information to help them with their diabetes. With this in mind, the Independent Diabetes Trust, that's IDDT, offers free booklets including Understanding Your Diabetes and Type 2 Diabetes Management and Medication. They provide information in non-medical language to help people understand their treatment, improve their health, and to make life easier. One of the important aspects of the treatment of diabetes is eating the appropriate diet. We know that from time to time it can be difficult to curb the desire for sweet things, but these foods raise blood sugar levels, something that needs to be avoided for people with diabetes. So we also have a free booklet, Diabetes Everyday Eating, which contains 28 days of menus of everyday affordable meals and much more. All our booklets are free, and we are happy to send copies to your readers of Understanding Your Diabetes, Type 2 Diabetes Management and Medication, or Diabetes Everyday Eating. We hope you will let them know that we can help. They can contact IDDT by phone on 01604 622 837 or by email at inquiries@iddtinternational.org. Yours, etc., Jenny Hurst, co-chair of Independent Diabetes Trust. Consultation, parking restrictions. Sir, how many more consultations do East Dunbartonshire require to address the parking problems around Lenzie Railway Station? It has been identified that immediate action is required for double yellow lines to be placed on corners such as Alexandra Avenue and Victoria Road, and on the slope on Beachmount Road from Auchinloch Road. Yours, etc., Pam Painter, Lenzie. Rainbow Trust. Use the extra hour wisely. Sir, when the clocks go back on Sunday, October 28th, many people will enjoy curling up under their duvet for a little longer before the pressures of normal hectic life resumes. Time is incredibly precious for us all, but especially for those families who are caring for a child with a serious illness, or these families, every minute matters even more, and that's why Rainbow Trust Children's Charity is calling on the public to make the most of their extra hour this autumn. The charity's Big Hour campaign is encouraging people to use their extra hour wisely when the clocks go back, to either donate an hour on their salary through its quick online wage exchange or organise a simple hour-long fundraiser. An hour might not seem very much, but to the 2,500 families we support who don't know if their child will get better, 60 precious minutes makes the world of difference. To get involved, please visit the Rainbow Trust website and find out more. Use, etc., Una Goodwin, Rainbow Trust Children's Charity. And big number, 1956. Tunnock's tea cakes were invented by Boyd Tunnock, using Italian meringue, shortbread, mallow and chocolate. Community Pinboard. Kirkintilloch Craft Fair. Saturday, November 3rd, the Park Centre, Kerr Street, Kirkintilloch, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Craft stalls, jewellery, home baking, tombola books. Tickets £2. Telephone number 0141 776 1101 in aid of Contact Point Voluntary Disability Services. Thanks. Kirkintilloch and Lenzie Marie Curie Fundraising Group would like to thank everyone who helped to make their dinner at Smith's Hotel such a success. Thank you to all who donated raffle prizes, all who bought tickets, and all who gave donations. Thanks also to the staff of Smith's for the delicious meal, and to Anne Bell for her entertaining quiz. The magnificent total of £2,012 was raised for Marie Curie and will go towards helping terminally ill people in our community. Springburn, Musical Memories. Springburn has benefited by £550 from 3 local lads running the Great Scottish Run, John, Kenny and William Castles. The family's late grandmother loved the singing we have, and the family has been very generous to the project. Musical Memories Springburn is a support project for people with dementia and their carers. It's based on research which shows that when other areas of the brain are damaged by dementia, the part which stores melody still remembers songs of yesterday. We also have some gentle movement. This totally volunteer-run project in Springburn Parish Church Hall has been recognised in 2 major award events this year covering the whole of Scotland, Scotland's Dementia Awards and the Herald Society Awards. We have about 40 people attending on Monday afternoons. They are a combination of residents from 4 local care homes and domestic carers and their loved ones. Looking back, remember this? On October 25th, 1952, The Mousetrap, a murder mystery written by Agatha Christie, opened at the Ambassador's Theatre in London. Initially called 3 Blind Mice, it was originally a 30-minute radio play broadcast on the Queen's 80th birthday in 1947. It went on to become the longest continuously running play in history. On October 29th, 1618, Sir Walter Raleigh was beheaded in Old Palace Yard at the Palace of Westminster for allegedly conspiring against King James I. This week in history. Worldwide events from October 23rd to 30th. October 23rd, 1956. Thousands of Hungarian people took to the streets to protest against Soviet rule and demand the reinstatement of the former Prime Minister Imre Nagy, free elections and freedom of the press. October 24th, 1945. The United Nations was officially formed. The organisation was a replacement for the ineffective League of Nations, formed following World War I, with the aim of preventing another such war. October 25th, 1854. The Charge of Light Brigade took place during the Battle of Balaclava in the Crimean War. Under the command of Major General the Earl of Cardigan, the Light Brigade charged into a valley to capture Russian field artillery, but the valley was ringed on 3 sides by some 20 battalions of Russian infantry and artillery. Nearly 300 men died. October 26, 1994. Israel and Jordan signed a peace treaty ending 46 years of war. The treaty was signed by Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin and King Hussein of Jordan in desert area of Wadi Araba on the Israeli-Jordanian border. October 27, 1936. Mrs. Wallace Simpson was divorced from her second husband, Ernest Simpson, after a brief hearing at Ipswich Assizes. October 28, 1979. The first Chinese leader to visit the UK, Chairman Hua Kyo-feng, arrived in London. He was welcomed at Heathrow Airport by Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. October 29, 1923. The Republic of Turkey was established with Mustafa Kemal Ataturk as its first president. He was president until his death in 1938. October 30th, 1938. H.G. Wells's science fiction novel War of the Worlds was broadcast on radio. Read by Orson Welles, the novel was adapted into fake news bulletins describing a Martian invasion of New Jersey and was allegedly so realistic that it caused a mass panic among listeners.
Listings Guide. Until October the 25th, on display, Come along and see all the entries and winners in this exciting annual display of the very best amateur photographic talent. The Eastern Bartonshire Photography Competition exhibition takes place in the Old Kirk Museum. Until November the 1st, exhibition at Lily Art Gallery, Mulgai, Glasgow Society of Women Artists. This hugely popular annual exhibition includes exciting new work by the long-established, multi-talented Glasgow Society of Women Artists. The third annual exhibition of the Scottish Society of Botanical Artists is also on show. Shapes of Nature is a collection of botanical art and illustration from members showcasing a diverse range of Scottish and international flora. October the 27th, Talent Show. Lindsay's Got Talent. Talented young people will have the opportunity to take part in the Lindsay's Got Talent Show in Lindsay Union, New Hall. This will be an opportunity for young entertainers to show their skills to an appreciative audience. There will be a rehearsal on Thursday, the October 25th, in the New Hall for all the performers. If you would like to take part, please get in touch with Drina O'Malley on telephone number 07774 192659 or Kim Youth Worker on 0748 2678 Tickets cost £3 and this will include a child accompanied by an adult. There will also be stalls and refreshments. Any profits from the evening will be donated to Deaf Blind Scotland. November the 5th, History Talk. The next talk, organised by the Mulgai and Bearsden Historical Society, will be given by Susan Morrison on the topic Stuart Plots. Kidnapping, murder and treasonous intrigue were all part of the royal day of a Stuart monarch. The talk will take place on Monday the 5th of November at 7:30 p.m. in the Lesser Hall of Bearsden Community Hub, Bearsden Cross. Visitors welcome, £4. November the 7th, People's Voice. Beauclair Academy in Bearsden will host the annual Thomas Muir Symposium. This year's theme is The People's Voice, and it will feature speakers from the academic community, secondary school, pupils and members of local history societies. The afternoon includes a talk and music by pupils. November the 10th to December the 20th, exhibition at Lily Art Gallery, Mulgai, Urban Landscapes. An interesting choice of works from the permanent collection, representing a rich and varied interpretation of the term urban, from idyllic views of initial intrusions into the countryside to full-blown inner-city decay. November the 20th, a roaring success. Kirkintilloch Town Hall, 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale for Animal Families and Me with Gordon Buchanan, the highly acclaimed television wildlife cameraman and presenter. Hear about his personal recollections of his globe-trotting travels and to witness a world of weird, wild and wonderful wildlife, all illustrated with his own film footage and photography. To book, call 0141 777 3143. Part of Eastern Bartonshire Library's Book Week Scotland 2018 events programme. November the 21st, Author Talk. Lennoxtown Library, 2 till 3 p.m. Author David Munro, who wrote the Time Jigsaw series of books, will talk about his path from business to published author on Wednesday, November the 21st from 2 to 3 p.m. at Lennoxtown Library as part of the National Book Week 2018. November the 23rd, Thomas Muir Festival. Moya Brennan in concert, Cara Church, Bishopbriggs, Friday, November the 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Moya has been described as the voice of Clannad and First Lady of Celtic music. Accompanying Brenner will be Cormac de Barra, harp and vocals, Aileen Jarvis, guitar, bouzouki, whistle and vocal, Leah Wright, violin and vocal, and Paul Jarvis, keyboards, percussion and vocals. Tickets priced £25. And until December the 21st, Christmas crafts at the Old Kirk Museum, Kirkintilloch. This year's guest artist is Jackie Stevenson. Jackie studied drawing and painting at Glasgow School of Art and has exhibited widely in galleries and exhibitions across the UK. View a wide range of local craftwork from jewellery to ceramics. The museum is open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And this week's schools, St Ninian's High. Sky High. This past week, St Ninian's High School once again embraced its long-standing relationship with Columba 1400, an award-winning social enterprise and charity. A group of 15 pupils and 3 staff members embarked on the long and winding journey to the Isle of Skye, travelling along the bank of Loch Lomond, through Glencoe and across the Highlands to finally reach their destination, Strathkelvin, towards the north of Skye. The group took part in Columba's Leadership Academy for Young People, which is carefully designed and facilitated to give young people the strength and courage to find their own unique voice and purpose. A week of self-reflection and self-identifying might be a foreign idea to many of us, and I am sure that for many in the group there was hesitation and speculation on the journey as to the point in the programme. The week was carefully structured to allow the group to investigate, debate and gain a better insight into not only the values of Columba 1400 and the values of the school, awareness, focus, creativity, integrity, perseverance and service, but more importantly, our personal values and what were the defining characteristics that made us unique, strong and confident individuals. Pupils and staff engaged in all aspects of the week as one group, where everyone was treated with the equal respect, whether it be at the dinner table, around the pool table, playing cards in the meeting room, where tasks were completed, or on the side of a mountain in the pouring rain. We were one group, where no single voice was heard louder or listened to more attentively than others. Over the week, we developed into a group with 18 leaders, not 15 pupils who looked to the staff members to give direction or bring structure to the day. Through the programme, the group was challenged physically, emotionally and mentally, with early morning and late nights, designed to develop us as individuals and bring us closer as a group. The impact of these sorts of activities might be hard to quantify or to instantly measure. However, that is not to say that there was and will not be one. All members of the group were given the opportunity to continually reflect on their time at the centre and spoke passionately about their inner changes throughout the week, most notably in their confidence and self-belief. The group has been hard at work upon their return to school, finalising the plans that they created on Skye to try to add value to the school, with a specific focus on the charitable work that they can do. We are looking forward to seeing the pupils develop throughout their time at St Ninian's and the positive impact they can have on the whole school community. Pilgrimage. On Friday, July the 13th, Martin Conroy and Michael Hand, both of whom have recently left St Ninian's High School, embarked on a pilgrimage to Lourdes as part of a wider group, travelling from the St Margaret of Scotland youth group. The theme for the pilgrimage this year was "Do Whatever He Tells You," which was spoken by Mary, our mother, at a wedding feast of Cana. Archbishop Taglia led the pilgrimage, asking all members to ask Mary to help us be more open to the world of God so that we may know that the will of God and do it, as we set off on what was to be both a challenging and fulfilling week ahead. The main role of the young ambassadors from St Ninian's High School was to aid those within the group who struggled through age, ailment and adversity. Throughout the week, the boys were instrumental in helping the group to fully assess a variety of celebrations, such as attending Mass in the underground basilica, visiting the sacred baths in the area and celebrating Mass together in the grotto. The week-long pilgrimage came with its challenges as the pair, along with the other younger members, were made aware of on the first morning, where they were challenged with feeding and serving breakfast to over 80 of the more experienced members of the group. Both Martin and Michael encapsulate the values of the school, showcasing such servant leadership within the community on one of the grandest stages. They have been a fantastic asset to the school and are a true example of what it is to carry yourself with dignity, to promote faith, persevere through hard time, whilst always serving others. For that we are incredibly thankful.
This is some junior football reports now. Rob Roy denied by Resolute Renfrew in stalemate. And the score was Rob Roy 0, Renfrew 0. 0-0. Rob Roy drew a blank on Saturday as they failed to find a way past bottom of the table Renfrew at Guy's Meadow, and this is reported by Neil Anderson. Despite the visitors playing most of the second half with 10 men, their resolute defence held out on a frustrating day for the home side. The Roys started on the attack and Renfrew keeper Dale Burgess was alert following a Michael Morris free kick. Martin McBride then set up Willie Sawyers on the left, but the striker sent his effort over the bar. There was a let-off for the Rabs in the 22nd minute when Richard McIntosh's header hit the bar following a Ryan Boris cross, and a minute later a drive from distance by Kieran Healy was blocked for a corner by John Sweeney. Just after the half-hour mark, Burgess brought off a magnificent diving save to prevent a McBride header opening the scoring. And then at the other end, after Healy broke down the right, his cross was put past the post by Kieran Maxwell when it looked easier to score. Rabs came close again in the 41st minute when a deep cross from Scott Walker found Joe Slattery free at the back post, but his header hit the foot of the upright and was cleared. Just before half-time, Sawyers turned his man on the edge of the box, but his right foot effort was saved low by Burgess. At the start of the second half, Lee Gallagher cut in from the right, but his shot flew over the bar. Renfrew were reduced to 10 men in the 51st minute when Gregor Wiley picked up his second yellow card for a tug on Slattery. Despite the numerical advantage, Rob Roy were not creating chances and made a 65th minute double substitution with Alberto Vezza on for Connor Hughes and Gavin Mackey on for Gallagher, much to his disgust. With the Rabs pushing forward, Sawyers laid the ball off to McBride, but his side foot shot failed to trouble Burgess. A minute later, Graham Ramage's pile driver, after a Mackey layoff, was pushed wide by Burgess, and then a clever dummy from Sawyers gave Mackey a chance at goal, but his effort went wide. Nevertheless, 10 men Renfrew were always dangerous on the break, and McIntosh's pass released Maxwell, but he could not hit the target. With 12 minutes remaining, Mackey's 30-yard effort brought out another brilliant save from Burgess, who was having a great match. In an attempt to get the all-important goal, Michael Daly replaced Ramage in the 80th minute and was pushed up front. Vezza should have done better a minute later when he sent a shot over the bar from inside the box following a Mackey cross. In the final minute, both sides could have grabbed the winner. John Kelly's curling shot hit the roof of the Frew net, and then John Hutchison made a smart save from Maxwell to prevent all 3 points going to Renfrew. However, the deadlock was not broken and the game fizzled out for a goalless draw. A very disappointing result for Rob Roy then, despite them recording their first clean sheet of the season, and it was certainly a case of points dropped. And there's 2 accompanying pictures with this story. The first one's an action one showing 3 Rob Roy players and 1 Renfrew player. And the other one is a picture of man of the match, John Sweeney, receiving his trophy from sponsor Joe Dugan. Vale battle back to earn draw against title chasers, and the scores were Rossvale 1, Cumbernauld United 1. Rossvale were forced to settle for a share of the spoils from their clash with the championship challengers Cumbernauld United at Hunters Hill. In a wet, windy first half, Cumbernauld came out fighting, and for the first 15 minutes they were the better side. and by the time Vale started to settle and take the game on, they were behind. A free kick was played into the Vale box, and ex-Rob Roy man Stephen Law lost his marker and had an easy job to put his header well out of keeper Jamie Donnelly's reach. That came on 11 minutes, and 3 minutes later Cumbernauld almost went further ahead. After a good run down the right by new signing Chris Hall, his excellent cross found Kieran McAleenan, whose shot narrowly went over, much to the relief of the Vale's defence. Vale threatened when a Kirk Forbes free kick found Gary Giffen, but his effort was easily saved. Then a high ball over the top found Andy Johnson, who beat his man and lobbed the on-rushing keeper, only to see a defender clear the goal-bound shot. A Chris Zock effort then sneaked past before Johnson again tried chipping the keeper, who recovered to save at the second attempt. Both sides were playing some lovely football, and Vale came close again before the break when Josh O'Hare found Giffen, who put Jamie Hunter through on goal, but his final effort was easily saved. Early in the second half, Vale had the majority of the ball and produced some fine interplay, with only the final effort letting them down. However, they kept pushing forward, and Zock could only watch as the keeper managed to get a hand to turn his header away for a corner. At the other end, Scott Davidson, a thorn in Vale's side in the first half, tried an opportunist shot from about 40 yards, which went narrowly over. However, to the relief of the Vale support, the much-deserved equaliser arrived in 69 minutes, when Hunter found O'Hare 25 yards out, and he gave the outstretched keeper no chance with his effort. And there's a accompanying picture to that story of Josh O'Hare being congratulated after his stunning equaliser for Ross Vale.
Sports Digest. Tennis. Maya Lumsden. Lindsay tennis player Maya Lumsden produced one of her best results of the year to reach the semi-finals of the $25,000 ITF tournament in France. The 20-year-old got to the semi-finals of the event in Cherbourg on Cotentin after beating the second seed along the way. After opening with a 6-3-6-2 win over fellow Brit Ella Taylor, she then knocked out Serbia's Dejana Radanovic, seeded 2 and ranked 205 in the world, with a 7-6, 3-6, 6-2 victory. Maya, currently ranked 418, then beat Britain's Eden Silva 3-6, 7-6, 6-3 in the quarter-finals before her run came to an end when she was edged out 6-4, 6-4 by France's Harmony Tan, her doubles partner and the eventual winner in the semis. Maya and Tan also reached the semi-finals of the doubles, but were beaten by Poland's Katarzyna Peter and Barbora Stevkova of the Czech Republic. The Lindsay player gained some measure of revenge over Stevkova when the ITF circuit then moved on to Jeux Les Tours, defeating the Czech 6-3, 6-1 in their first round singles clash. However, she was then defeated in the second round once again, out to the eventual tournament winner in France's Chloé Paquet, who beat her 6-4, 6-1. Football. Campsie Minerva. Campsie Minerva moved into the third round of the Scottish Amateur Cup with their best win of the season as they defeated Kings Park Rangers 5-1 in their second round replay at Lennoxtown on Saturday. New boys Liam McMaster and Kevin Corr went straight into the starting line and conspired to open the scoring for Minerva within 30 seconds of the start. McMaster picked up the ball on the left and drove forward before squaring the ball to Corr, who scored with aplomb about 10 yards out. Minerva could not have asked for a better start, and within 15 minutes on the clock, Johnny McWilliams, making the usual nuisance of himself to the opposing back four, found Corr again, but through one-on-one with the keeper, he pulled his shot just wide. However, Minerva had only to wait another 5 minutes to double their advantage. This time, Corr was provider with a killer pass to McWilliams, who made no mistake. It was all rather too easy for Minerva, with Brendan Shaw in goal rarely troubled. There was concern in the 40th minute when Minerva lost Callum Linning to injury, but Kyle Macaulay would prove more than an able deputy. Macaulay had only been on the park for 4 minutes when he found himself over a free kick 20 yards out. He thundered a shot towards goal, and although the keeper made a good save, the rebound broke to McMaster, who netted to put the tie beyond doubt just before half-time. The second half was very much the same fare, with Minerva doing all the pressing forward, and just 10 minutes after the restart, McWilliams got his second and Minerva's fourth. Again, all the good preparatory work was done by Corr, who was now lighting up the Minerva team with his own performance, but nevertheless, McWilliams was on fire himself and gave the keeper no chance from 10 yards. With 15 minutes left, Kings Park got a consolation goal, veteran defender Charlie Ferns heading home a cross from Buddy Watson, but Minerva had the final say near the end, with a fifth goal. Mark Brodie was hauled down in the box, and man of the match McWilliams was given the ball to complete his hat-trick from the spot. Hairstains secured a place in the third round of the West of Scotland Cup with a hard-fought 2-1 win in an entertaining tie against top Ayrshire side Hurlford. Both sides had chances to influence the outcome. Both failed to take the most of these, and Hurlford did not help their cause by having 2 men sent off, one for a double yellow, one for a straight red, for a comment the referee objected to. However, over the piece, Hairstains were the more commanding side, with Hurlford threatening more on the break. The visitors carved out a chance, but only managed to shoot into the arms of O'Boyle before Black made a good solo opportunity at the other end as he wriggled his way through, but his shot was deflected for a corner. Black had another good chance when in on the keeper, but the keeper got a hand to his lob and the game remained goalless at the break. Hurlford had an early chance at the start of the second half. The shot was decent, but O'Boyle was on hand to save. Cross was unlucky for Hairstains as he danced around the Hurlford defenders, but his curled attempt was just the wrong side of the post. Hairstains took the lead 12 minutes into the second half, as Black latched onto the ball, cut into the box and curled the ball home before the keeper could even react. Black scored the second with hardly a minute more elapsing. Wilson threaded the ball between defenders. Black was onto it rapidly and the ball was in the net. Hurlford should have pulled one back when their shot was blocked, and the player who got on the loose ball could only put it over from a yard out. Another chance was squandered when their man shot wide when he should have been on target, and they were unfortunate when a good strike cracked off the left post. They did pull one back with 5 minutes to go with a low shot into the right corner and tried hard for an equaliser, but having lost their keeper to red, being down to 9 men, extra time in these circumstances would have been a slim hope. Hairstains tote one winner, £350 payout. Rugby. Allan Glens. Allan Glens maintained their Tennent's West Division 1 title challenge with a comprehensive 57-10 win over Irvine at the Bear Yards on Saturday. Another Saturday of wet conditions caused ball handling and kicking errors on both sides. It took Glens 15 minutes to break down the visitors' defence when, from the Irvine 22 line, excellent coordination between the home backs resulted in Scott Thompson going over for the opening score. Another 10 minutes and Jack Mooney touched down for Glens after a break by Jono Murrell. Irvine's ball retention was excellent, and as they mounted attack after attack on the home line, they were rewarded with a drive-over try credited to Gabriel Ticani. This was immediately followed by 2 tries in quick succession for Glens by Murrell, one from a drive over maul, and the other when an Irvine clearance was blocked and the loose ball pounced on by Levi Ekevati, who slipped it to Murrell. Thompson converted both tries. A try by Alan Watt for Glens, after the ball had been hacked ahead several times, completed the first half, scoring at 31-5 to the home side. Irvine scored immediately after the restart as David Kirkwood touched down a drive over maul. Not that Irvine made it easy, but the rest of the game was all Glens. First, Murrell touched down from a drive over Maul, then Russell McEwen sprinted from the visitors' 22 line to score. This was followed by McConnell hacking ahead a loose ball and beating the visitors' defence to the touchdown. The final try was by Sam Morrison for Glens after a well-placed kick ahead. Thompson converted 3 of the 4 tries as Glens made it 6 wins out of 7 to sit in second place, a single point behind East Kilbride. This Saturday, Glens are at home to Annan, kick-off at 3 p.m. Glens' second were also on form as they defeated Dumfries seconds 66-0. Lindsay RFC. Lindsay remained top of Tennent's West Division 2 with a 100% record after a 66-5 win at 4th place Bishopton on Saturday. It was their 7th straight win and leaves them 3 points clear of Uddingston, who have played a game more. Lindsay travelled with a strong squad, and it was clear from the start that both sides aimed to play an expansive game. Lindsay were first on the scoreboard with a well-worked forwards try by Lightbody, quickly followed by Cruikshanks finishing off a backs move, with both scores converted by Burns. Bishopton forced their way back into the game when their number 8 scored from close range, but the visitors replied through Fraser and Gemmell to lead 26-5 at the break. The second period belonged to Lindsay as their forwards dominated the set piece and loose with their backs, moving the ball sweetly. Philip Carvalho finished off the best try of the day when Cruikshanks cut through the home defence and passed inside to the supporting Carvalho, who raced in from 20 metres to the applause of both the home and away support. Further tries were scored by Captain Conde, 2, Bryson, McWilliams and Sewell, with man of the match going to Brett McWilliams for his defensive and attacking display. Lindsay's second 15 won away at Annan 40-36, with young Ewan McKay scoring a hat-trick. This week, Lindsay are at home when they meet Cumbernauld with a 3 p.m. kick-off.
Scottish Cup. Tayport test for Vale Cup ambitions. Ross Vale face a tough test against 3-time winners Tayport in the Scottish Junior Cup third round. The Fife side currently sit in 5th place in the East Region Super League, and manager Gordon Moffat knows his side will have to play well to get through. He told Rosvale TV, "I think they've won every game at home, so we know how tough it's going to be. But we'll go there and give it our best shot." Vale head for Fife on the back of Saturday's 1-1 draw with a Cumbernauld United side who ironically won 2-1 at Tayport in last season's Scottish. Moffat said, "Given our second half performance, I thought we did enough to win it." Scottish Junior Cup, Maxwell and Rob Roy up for Cup challenge, and this article by Ian McLean. It's Scottish Junior Cup time for Kirkintilloch Rob Roy again on Saturday when they face Fife's Thornton Hibs in a third round tie at Guy's Meadow. Rabs have reached the last 8 of the tournament in each of the last 2 seasons. However, after a summer of transition and a sluggish start to the season's expectations aren't perhaps as high this time around. But that doesn't lessen manager Stuart Maxwell's desire for his side to once again go deep into the Junior Games blue-ribboned competition. He said, "I've got to raise that expectation or else I'm not doing my job right. The last couple of years we've been renowned for playing great attacking cup football, and we've proved that. We've taken big scalps and been involved in exciting games which will go down in the history of the club. But we've had the other end of it. Last year at Wishaw we just never turned up. But that's cup football and why you never take anything for granted. I want it so much for the supporters to get to the semi-finals or the final. I've been to a couple of semi-finals with Rob Roy as a player and know how much it means to the supporters, how much it brings the town out. We're probably not expected to do anything this year. We've had a lot of changes and a slow start to the season. We're under the radar because nobody's talking about Rob Roy, so we'll take it as it comes and concentrate on one game at a time." And that's the close for this week's reading from the D team. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us, and we look forward to reading again to you in 4 weeks' time. And in the meantime, we hope you keep well.